Hey, what's going on, guys? Mangumson here. So, people are always wondering, why do we need Glimmer? Why are we always Glimmer broke, even though it's one of the most resourceful things in the game? Well, one of the reasons is because of bounties. Bounties on top of bounties on top of bounties, with even more daily bounties and even more repeatable bounties. And then you go to another vendor and get more bounties. Well, I'm going to eliminate the Glimmer problem by showing you the method on how top tier in-game players end up getting Glimmer. So we're going to start here in the Tangled Shore, and we're going to go see a guy named Spider. Spider is easily the most underutilized resource by new players in the entire Destiny 2 community. So you're going to look straight ahead, you're going to get on your little sparrow, and you're going to travel all the way down this path. If you weren't forced to go find Spider and do all the side Spider missions, then here you go. Here is the Grand Poobah. Now, opening up his inventory, we're going to go right into it, and you see he has enhancement cores, legendary shards. He also has Glimmer and resources. His inventory for his material exchange changes every single day. Every day at reset 10 o'clock. So you can use your materials, legendary shards, and get Glimmer. But wait, you may be thinking, I just saw legendary shards there. Why wouldn't I just purchase them from him? Because the exchange rate, no matter what it is, 10 materials for one legendary shard just doesn't add up. If we take into account that if we get any materials from him for one legendary shard, it gives us 5. And if we purchase 2 materials from him to get 10, it takes 2 legendary shards. But yet, you want to buy legendary shards from him on the basis that materials takes 10. So you lose a shard every time you purchase a shard. The math doesn't add up. Don't purchase legendary shards from him no matter how badly you need them. Legendary shards purchased from him in the clutch or in desperation should never be bought. So stay away from there and only use this to buy Glimmer, materials, and enhancement cores. Okay, so if getting Glimmer was that easy, then that would be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. No. This is a 10-minute long video because we're going to go over being Glimmer ready. Being Glimmer ready is going over here to your artifact, looking at the Glimmer track. A lot of people don't like this track. You don't have to interact with this track if you don't want to. But putting everything on for the Glimmer side and actually having the appropriate things needed, such as ghost shells, such as having the armor mods equipped. You can go in to Strikes and Crucible with the specific ghost shells, the Gambit ghost shells, which will give you 10 plus experience, extra Glimmer gains, and so on and so forth and what have you, so that when you do play these in-game activities, you're getting rewarded for your playtime instead of backtracking or going back to Spider, spending your legendary shards that you've earned so hard on to get Glimmer, to get materials, to run the whole resource thing all over again. Now, you may have gotten the Heartlink shell from pre-ordering the game or just getting it right off the bat, and that'll give you plus 10 plus experience gains. But also by playing the game, we're going to get rewarded for our Gambit wins. We're going to get rewarded for our Gambit losses. You're going to get blue gear, which is Glimmer. You're going to get purple gear, which is legendary shards. You're going to complete crucible modes. It's going to give you even more gear, and it's going to get you tokens. You get plus 2 tokens on a win. You get plus 5 if someone pops a boon. You even get, you just get a lot of stuff just for playing the game. So interacting with everything in the game gets you more materials. For those who have been playing the game for a really long time, I could easily go ahead and suggest that you may go into your vault, access it, look at most of the exotics or things that you do not use, Go over any duplicate weapons that you have that you do not use. Even be as bold as to say go there and dismantle the things that's going to be sunset that you still aren't going to use. Anything that has a 1060 power, if you're holding on to it for sentimental reasons, that's just it. You're holding on to it for sentimental reasons, or you're holding on to it because you actively use it in non-powered activities. But then you may be thinking, well, I haven't been playing the game for 5, 10 plus years. Where do I get all this stuff from? Well, all the bounties that we bought at the beginning, we go ahead and we actually complete them, which is going to get us Glimmer, Bright Dust, and Purple Gear, which translate into Legendary Shards. Ranking up by completing these bounties with the Bounty Slam, you're going to end up getting more Purple Gear, more Prestige, more Glimmer, more Bright Dust, yada yada, etc. You're going to get tokens. And tokens is going to translate into more Legendary Gear. Now, token slamming is going to be one of the most obvious things that people jump to in order to get Legendary Shards. Now, getting Legendary Shards this way is going to take 20 tokens in order to rank up ZAVALA. ZAVALA is going to give you shaders. He's going to give you Legendary Gear. Anything from weapons to armor and what have you. Shaxx does the exact same thing. When you token slam 20 tokens into him, he ends up giving you a piece of gear, and another piece of gear. But Banshee, he works in the same way that ZAVALA does. He gives you 2 rewards, but it takes 25 of his gunsmith materials per little bump. So that's 75 in total. So that's a lot of gunsmith materials. Anything that you can't hold goes to the postmaster. Now the next obvious thing is like, well, I don't have 2,000 plus 4,000 plus gunsmith materials. How do I get more Glimmer or Legendary Shards without having all that? Well, you probably have some consumables that you've been sitting on that you don't activate, such as Rainmaker, or activating Boons of the Vanguard, or even activating Boon of the Crucible. What this does is when you go into these activities, at the end of the activity, you end up receiving a gift. The gifts look like this. They're little bundles of tokens, and they come in 5s. So every time you pop one open, it's going to give you 5 of those tokens. So you can get these respectively from Lord Shaxx, and you can get it from ZAVALA. Accessing their inventory screen, you may need to hit the right directional button in order to go to the next menu if you have double menus for both of those. But once you've token slammed and bounty slammed and done all the slamming and everything has arrived at your postmaster, this is where the real legendary farm comes into play. You're going to go over to your postmaster. If you're still leveling yourself up, look over every piece of gear, make sure it isn't anything higher than the current power level that you are trying to obtain. You don't want to get rid of extremely powerful gear. You want to dismantle everything as quickly as possible so you can get the maximum amount of Legendary Shards and maximize your time. You're going to just keep deleting stuff, which is going to get you enhancement cores sometimes. Deleting purple gear is going to get you 3 gunsmith materials every time you deconstruct something. And every time you deconstruct blue shaders, it's going to get you Glimmer. Now, so we get Legendary Shards, enhancement cores, gunsmith materials, and the prime engram. Then we go over to RAHOOL, and when we have an excess amount of shaders, he deletes them 5 at a time. So we can come over here and just keep deleting them. Then we finally wrap things up with going inside of our inventory screen and our character select screen. And then we quickly disseminate what's powerful and what's not. You can hold down the L2 button to show your gear stats so you can quickly look at the numbers so you don't delete anything that's over the current power level that you have, so you don't delete powerful gear. And then you just go in there and then you systematically from top to bottom just start chopping stuff down, and that's going to raise your Glimmer, that's going to raise your gunsmith materials, that's going to end up raising your Legendary Shards. And as we've seen, Legendary Shards transforms into materials. Materials transforms into, it could be Glimmer, it could be upgrade modules, it could be prism enhancements. They could be used for a multitude of things, but Using this system here is the real way that you accumulate Glimmer and Legendary Shards. And with that, that's going to cover the true method on how to grind for Legendary Shards and Glimmer. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. So if Glimmer's used for bounties, and bounties is used for tokens, and tokens is used for Legendary Shards, Legendary Shards is used for materials, materials is used for Glimmer, Glimmer is used, wait, what is Glimmer used for?